Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. Drivers on Highway 2 between Leavenworth and the Don Senn Memorial Interchange saw some wild road conditions Saturday. The U.S. Supreme Court will not weigh in on a Washington law banning conversion therapy, the discredited therapeutic practice of attempting to change a person's sexual orientation or gender identity. The weather we had today is pretty much what we can expect for the rest of the week, with maybe a little rain thrown in Thursday morning. More coming up in your weather forecast. The man who pleaded guilty in the 2010 killing of Wenatchee teenager Mackenzie Cowell has been released after 11 and a half years in prison. Christopher Scott Wilson was freed today from Monroe Correctional Center. Wilson entered pleas to first-degree manslaughter, robbery, and assault in the killing of Cowell, a 17-year-old Wenatchee high school student who was missing for 4 days in 2010 before her body was found on the banks of the Columbia River near Crescent Bar. Investigators said DNA evidence on Cowell's body and in Wilson's Wenatchee apartment linked him to the crime. Wilson entered his plea just as his trial was about to begin for first-degree murder. He's maintained his innocence and said he took the plea agreement because Chelan County jurors appeared likely to convict him. He was sentenced in 2012 to just over 14 years with credit for the 19 months he spent in custody before trial. Wilson is now 43 years old. He must report to a community custody officer for the next 3 years. Drivers on Highway 2 between Leavenworth and the Don Senn Memorial Interchange saw some wild road conditions Saturday. As darkness fell and the snowfall accumulated, so did the number of spinouts and collisions. Traffic was already thick from tourists visiting Leavenworth's seasonal Village of Light celebration, which goes on each weekend through Christmas Eve. The Washington State Patrol declared the area a total standstill just before 5 p.m. due to multiple vehicle accidents in the 3-mile stretch. No injuries were reported, but it was hours before traffic was able to flow freely west of the Big Y. The graffiti tagged around Wenatchee High School was no match against the school's art club. During fourth period last Friday, students got out their paint, which was donated by Sherwin-Williams, and covered up the graffiti that was left on the fence of a nearby homeowner. The damage was first reported on November 30th and extended to Wenatchee High School property, including buses and the transportation building. Police say 2 suspects, a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old, were both arrested last week and faced felony charges of malicious mischief. The fence may have just received a fresh coat. There are plans in the works for a mural to be painted on it by the Wenatchee High School Art Club coming up in the spring. Outgoing Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz will be honored on the floor of the U.S. Congress this week. Congresswoman Kim Schreier's office sent a representative on Thursday to a Wenatchee City Council meeting to present Kuntz with a flag that previously flew over the U.S. Capitol. Congressional liaison Ruby Gaston said Schreier will also read a testimonial into the congressional record to recognize Kuntz's service as mayor. He leaves office at the end of this month after leading the city for 12 years. When we come back, the city of Leavenworth was awarded over $1.9 million for several transportation projects. And 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse has a bill before the House of Representatives that aims to improve hiring and retention for police officers who patrol Indian country. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
As Chelan's premier lifestyle store, Willow, find unique home decor, clothing, jewelry, and more. Come visit for a welcoming and memorable shopping experience.
Deepwater Electronics is your one-stop shop for the latest in TV and sound technology. Whether you build your home theater or let them do it for you, Deepwater Electronics is the clear choice.
The switch is on to T-Mobile. Get the best 5G experience and the customer service you depend on. Only at Chelan Wireless in downtown Chelan.
Whatever the holidays mean to you, get the most out of them in a new Honda. Whether it's taking in the lights with all your friends in a spacious Accord, or taking in a snow day in a rugged CR-V. Your holiday adventure awaits with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
The city of Leavenworth was awarded over $1.9 million for several transportation projects. The funding is from the Washington State Transportation Improvement Board, who's been collaborating with the city to create a plan to address roadway deficiencies. Together, they will take on 3 citywide projects with over $1.5 million going to a scrub seal that will improve the pavement on the roadway. The other projects will reconstruct pedestrian curb ramps and address maintenance needs on city streets. The work will begin in 2024. The U.S. Supreme Court will not weigh in on a Washington law banning conversion therapy. That's the discredited therapeutic practice of attempting to change a person's sexual orientation or gender identity. State law forbids licensed therapists from practicing conversion therapy on minor patients. A licensed Christian counselor sought to challenge the law, who was adopted in 2018, saying it was a restriction on free speech. The Supreme Court justices voted 6-3 not to hear the case, with conservative justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito among those saying the court should intervene. The decision means the Washington law is allowed to stand untouched. 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse has a bill before the House of Representatives that aims to improve hiring and retention for police officers who patrol Indian country. The chairman of the Colville Confederated Tribes, Jared Michael Erickson, testified last week alongside Newhouse, saying the bill could help step up police response on tribal lands.
Across the country, and particularly in Washington's 4th congressional districts, many tribes have serious problems recruiting and retaining qualified law enforcement officers who serve on reservation lands. Oftentimes, this is a result of training limitations, the bureaucratic nature of credentialing tribal officers, and frankly, subpar pay.
On any given shift, the Colville Tribe Police Department has an average of only 3 police officers on duty to patrol the entire 2,275 square miles or 1.4 million acres of the Colville Reservation. This means that an officer's backup is at least 30 minutes away by car at any given time, though usually longer. We currently have 8 tribal officer vacancies out of the 29 police officers in our department, which means we're operating at approximately 2/3 capacity. In September 2022, we had 9 vacancies, so we've been able to fill 1 in just over a year. This high vacancy rate is mostly due to our challenges recruiting and retaining police officers in rural areas and the ability of the Colville tribes and other similarly situated Indian tribes to provide benefits that are competitive with those offered by state and local police departments. Because of this, there's an ongoing pattern in Indian country of recruiting and training officers only to see them leave for jobs with neighboring towns and municipalities that offer more attractive benefits. It costs Colville tribes approximately $150,000 to put new officers through the academy and train them to be able to handle calls on their own. When officers leave for employment elsewhere, the tribe must pay these costs again. Again, this assumes that we can fill the vacancy. I just want to also add that we spend about $4.1 million of our own tribal funds for our law enforcement officers.
Coming up next in tonight's feature story, Senator Brad Hawkins will give us a preview of the next state legislative session set to begin on January 8th. Cloudy, gloomy weather in the forecast through this week. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
In Digital Media Arts program, we learn about video production gear and editing by the combination of class projects and nonprofit work and employment.
It makes things happen.
Yeah.
It's pretty magical.
We work in the industry at the Wenatchee Road, NCWLIFE channel, and the Town Toyota Center events. Every day we work with industry standard equipment for a hands-on learning experience.
In tonight's feature story, the next state legislative session is set to begin in Olympia on January 8th. It's a short session, just 60 days, but 12th District Senator Brad Hawkins says there's a lot of work to be done in that time. Hawkins joined NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins in our studio last week with some highlights of what to watch for as the Washington House and Senate get back to work.
Well, the main focus of the legislature for this session will be the state budgets. The state budget's on a 2-year cycle, and last legislative session we approved all 3 budgets for the 2-year period. So we approved the operating budget, the transportation budget, and the capital budget. And those budgets are good for the 2023 to 2025 biennium. But in the in-between years, we go back for 60 days, and the main purpose of the session is to make adjustments as needed to those budgets. But we also consider the bills that were introduced last session that did not pass. All of those bills are still technically alive for this upcoming session, and legislators are authorized to introduce new bills. But what I will share is that I believe last session almost 2,500 bills were introduced, yet only 400 were signed into law. So all 2,100 of those bills are still alive, but and with the new ones. But the long story short is most of the bills that get introduced don't make their way all the way to become law, and then with the budget adjustments that need to be made and some other issues that are on the table, there's a lot of work in 60 days.
And that vast number of bills that you mentioned contributed a lot to the last session, being so busy, so packed, going late hours, starting early each morning, and we saw a lot of that playing out before the session ended.
Yeah, and this session will be no different. In fact, it'll be even more hectic because the way our Constitution is set up with these 105-day and 60-day sessions, yet the size and scope of the state government has grown, the budgets have grown, the complexities of all these issues still get sort of compressed into 60 days. And when you back out the weekends, even though we actually work the weekends, we're not taking votes and having committees usually on the weekends. So it ends up being 40 weekdays of legislative activity, and it's very intense, 14-hour days plus. But it'll be over before I know it, I'm sure.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. A little more snow on Saturday, but boy, did that disappear quickly as our temperatures rose late in the weekend. Made for a pretty decent Monday today. Peeks at the sun out there. Beautiful shot from our Wenatchee Heights Sky-Fi Tower camera. You can see just a little dusting of snow remains on the foothills of the Cascades. It warmed up and that snow really disappeared, and there isn't a lot of snow over the next 7, maybe even 10 days. We'll talk more about that coming up, but what is coming up this week, kind of some gloomy weather. We're going to see those low-hanging clouds. It should be cloudy just about every day, and underline this, we are going to see fog at times almost every day this week. It'll be patchy fog, maybe a little bit thicker on Wednesday. And as far as precipitation goes, right here, Thursday for us, where we might see a little bit of light rain and snow, and that'll be a quick hitter on Thursday morning. So not a lot happening weather-wise today. Temperatures were above where they should be for this time of year. We got to unofficially 40 degrees this afternoon. 34 is where we should be for this time of year. Our record high for the 4th day in a row, 2021, 51 degrees just a couple of years ago. 32 our low this morning. 25 is where we should be for a low temperature, and our record cold 4 degrees, and that was set in 1972. We did pick up another 1/100th of an inch of precipitation. That's over the last 24 hours. Precip now at 5.76, still below where we should be, but not too bad. And we picked up 2 more inches of snow on Saturday morning. That now gets our season total to 6 inches going back to October 1st. Sunrise 7:38, sunset at 4:10. All right, let's get you into the forecast now. And tomorrow's temperatures will be slightly cooler than today. We're going to see a lot of fog in that cloud cover tomorrow. 41s for Moses Lake and Ephrata. 39 degrees in Quincy, 37 from Ellensburg all the way through Wenatchee and into Chelan, then 35 the high temperature tomorrow up in Leavenworth. Tonight we can expect some clouds out there, patchy fog developing tonight, big ridge of high pressure up and over the entire western U.S., a high over the Dakotas as well, and one right here in Alberta and British Columbia. That's going to keep our weather pretty stable, but we will see some clouds move through that ridge. Morning fog, mostly cloudy skies, just a patch of clouds right in central Washington. Highs for Tuesday in the mid to upper 30s generally around our viewing area. Getting into Wednesday, I think we're going to see a little bit more fog. Notice the cold front and a storm system trying to work its way in. That could bring us an isolated shower or two, I think mainly Wednesday night. High temperatures during the day on Wednesday in the mid 30s. Here we go then. Our only shot for a rain mixed with snow scenario. That'll be Thursday morning, and it moves quickly up into Canada by Thursday afternoon. Mostly cloudy in the afternoon hours Thursday with high temperatures, upper 30s primarily. And then for Friday, more of that patchy fog as a southern Pacific storm begins to move into the weather picture. We'll see seasonal temperatures on Friday, high temperatures at the end of the week in the mid 30s. And as we get you into the upcoming weekend, we're going to see more of that patchy fog. There's that line right through central and southern Washington. Not much as far as precipitation goes. Most of that will stay to our southwest. High temperatures Saturday, not bad into the upper 30s, so a little bit above normal. And by the end of our forecast, fog all the way up and down the west coast on Sunday. It'll be a while for it to kind of dissipate on Sunday too. Partly cloudy finally in the afternoon with high temperatures in those mid 30s. Taking a look now at your 7-day forecast. 31 overnight tonight. Morning fog both Tuesday and Wednesday with highs mainly in the mid, maybe upper 30s. Morning of Thursday, that'll be our best shot for some precipitation, a rain mixed with snow possibility Thursday morning and 39, and then more of that fog. Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday, we'll see highs generally through the weekend in the mid to upper 30s. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today. Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
For the first time since Pete Carroll took over as the Seahawks head coach in 2010, Seattle has lost 4 games in a row. Yeah, it's not good in Seahawk land. San Francisco used one big play after another, including a 72-yard run on the first play of the game to beat up the Seahawks 28-16. The Niners finished with 547 yards total offense, gashing Seattle's defense for 11 times on plays of 20 yards or more. Coach Carroll says it was nothing they hadn't prepared for.
We came in here buckled up, ready to go, play these guys, and we just got big played by their guys on offense too many times to win the game today. There was just a bunch of explosive plays, doing the things that they do. There's nothing new, there's just stuff that they did. They executed really well, made some great throws when the guys were open down the field. Pretty did a nice job of that. But just too many explosive plays to hold these guys in check enough. And got to give them a lot of credit. They're a good club. And had we done those things, it would have been a much tighter football game than we had a chance, because we were able to score. We were able to move the ball a little bit. I thought Drew did an excellent job in this game. I mean, as you you can expect going into a game like this, you're going to come out after, you're going to say there's 3 or 4 plays or 2 or 3 plays that you wish wouldn't happen the way they did. And you just hope that they didn't beat you in the game. But he did a lot of cool stuff and came through for us to give us a chance.
Drew Locke got the start in place of Geno Smith, who suffered a groin injury. Locke completed 22 of 31 passes for 269 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. DK Metcalf had 2 catches, 52 yards, a touchdown, and he was ejected from the game. Seattle will host Philadelphia a week from tonight on Monday Night Football. Well, the Niners have a commanding lead in the NFC West after yesterday's win to improve to 10-3. The Rams fell in overtime to Baltimore to drop to 6-7 along with the Seahawks. LA holds the tiebreaker, though, with Seattle after sweeping the Seahawks in the season. Arizona 3-10 coming off a bye. Gonzaga and Eastern Washington women posted college basketball victories Saturday, while Washington upset Washington State on Sunday. The 23rd rated Bulldogs beat Rice Saturday on the road 80-72. Eastern Washington had no trouble with visiting Walla Walla. 82-33 the final. Sunday, Washington jumped out to a 10-2 lead after the first quarter and beat 21st ranked Cougars in Pullman 60-55. WSU tried to come back in the second half, but the Huskies were up to the challenge.
The Cougars on the season 47% from the field right now. They're shooting 22% on the game.
Walker, Ledger Walker into the lane. Count it.
So the Cougs extending their pressure. Steins, the ball handler, gets it ripped from Estera Tahina and gets it to Bella Murkatete, the big running the floor. And Briggs does.
And now Caves all the way to the hoop. Chloe Briggs.
They're going to check. 6 points is just 2 possessions and plenty of time. Steins, deep 3. Oh my, that was clutch by Steins. Into the lane, Noble flips it up, no good. Down by 7 and the ball. Murkatete running again and 1. Lets it go. Short, and that will do it. The Huskies getting a win in Pullman for the first time since 2019.
As they were saying before it was cut off, Washington's first win over Washington State in women's basketball since 2019. On the men's side Saturday, Eastern Washington traveled to Colorado Springs and beat Air Force 73-68. Washington upset 7th ranked Gonzaga in Seattle 78-73. Washington State remained unbeaten at home on Sunday with an 83-65 win over Grambling. Seattle Kraken's losing streak has reached 8 games after 2 losses over the weekend in NHL play. On Saturday, Seattle pushed Tampa Bay to overtime. It fell in the end 4-3. Oliver Bjorkstrand, Jamie Oleksiak, and Jared McCann all scored for Seattle. Seattle tried to push through some weary legs on Sunday, but the Minnesota Wild came to town and put up a 3-0 shutout. Kraken players and coach Dave Haxtell say they've got to keep believing they can turn this thing around.
Maybe a little bit of everything. I think we just need to be a few more percentages better in each area. I think that could help us. Definitely, you can't lose confidence. You got to keep going. So, yeah, it's a grind right now. We got to find a way to get out of it, and just small steps.
Well, we weren't able to capitalize on some outstanding opportunities on the power play. Each one of the power plays we had some great opportunities. It felt like that kind of a night against that team defends really well 5-on-5. So the opportunities 5-on-5 are hard to come by. We generated a few, but our best opportunities were on the power play, and we had a number of them. A couple going right through the crease that didn't find the back of the net. So you find yourself down by 150+ minutes into the game and not able to get one.
Seattle's back on home ice tomorrow night at 7 o'clock against Florida. That'll be on Root Sports Northwest. The Wenatchee Wild's 8-game winning streak came to an end over the weekend in Kennewick. The Tri-City Americans launched an onslaught Saturday, jumping out to a 3-0 lead in the first period. They tallied 5 more goals in the second, went on for a 9-3 win. Kentai Isogai scored twice. Jason Wu also a goal for Wenatchee. The Wild fell behind early as well on Sunday in Spokane before scoring 3 unanswered goals in the third period to beat the Chiefs 4-3. 4 different Wenatchee players scored Sunday, including Luke, I want to get his name right, Sherbinia, to start the action in the second.
Mays into the right corner. Now Friesen out front, quick shot and a save made by Michael. Sherbina has shot and he scores. Sherbina denied the first time, but then on the second attempt, got it back and slipped it through Michalak. And now here comes Moore with it. Moore out front, shoots and scores. Turnover by the Chiefs at center ice, and Wenatchee turned it up ice. And Moore muscled his way to the net, and it's now a 3-2 game. Wild, and here they come on the run. He's a guy with a shot blocked by Bonnie. Puck loose out front, and a score. It's now tied as Cooper following the play as the Chiefs didn't get numbers back. And just like that, it's a tie game as Cooper will get his 9th of the year. Free, here comes Cooper, throws it out front for Wood, comes back to Cooper, to the point to Sword. Right side, Isagai. Left side shot and score as Wood teed it up. No one on him, and it's 4-3 Wenatchee. Seconds running down, Poxon out front, goes wide, and the Chiefs, this is their toughest loss of the year. Just looking at the body language, sticks being slammed, frustration is palpable up here as Wenatchee, with a 3-goal third period, rally for their 3rd straight win over Spokane this year by a final score of 4-3.
Wenatchee heads for Portland to play the Winterhawks Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Austin Andrade has the call on 560 KPQ. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Have a happy Monday.
Finally tonight, it's been a few days with an emergency water shutdown here at our NCWLIFE studios. So our staff has been consuming a lot of commercially bottled water. That led to a debate over which brand of bottled water tastes the best. Reporter Casey Safford and producer Tucker Wagner decided to embark on a blind taste test to see who could guess the most brands correctly while also staying hydrated.
I don't like this one.
Okay, well, I noticed one thing right off the bat. Some of these are cold.
Yeah, some of these are and some of them are not. Try
this one again.
Oh, wait, I need to change mine. This is this. All of these were mixed out of order, so I don't even know if yours are in the same place as mine.
That one, definitely that.
I'll try my third one.
This one.
Oh, this one's good. I think this one is Dasani. I'm gonna try my last one. This one's good. I think this is a Fiji. It's Fiji, not Fuji.
No, it's not.
It's Fiji.
No, it's Fuji.
It's Fiji water.
No.
Malcolm, can you look at the list and tell us if it's
Malcolm,
Fiji or Fuji?
Pull it up, Malcolm.
It's Fiji. Now if I get these wrong, at least I got something right.
I'm Googling it. I don't trust Malcolm either.
Okay.
Oh, it's Fujifilm. They make camera stuff. That's why I'm confused, because I work with cameras all day.
Malcolm, what is number one?
Dasani. Boom.
Shoot, I put
Boom.
refresh.
Look at that. There we go. Dasani.
This is my wrong pile. Shoot, that means
Tastes
that
like
the one
bleach.
I put Dasani on is wrong.
All right, what's next?
Number two. Oh, which is what I said was Dasani, which we now know is wrong.
Number two. Refresh.
No.
Boom. Number three?
Three, I put Fiji.
Three is Fuji.
No. We're both
Cap.
wrong? Three is Essentia. I said this one tasted the best.
I knew. Okay, first of all, Essentia does taste the best.
Apparently.
But also, I thought it was Fuji. So
I didn't get a single one right.
you were feeling pretty confident though, which is funny because you said you like to
This whole thing was
keep the
my
standards
idea.
low and tell the result.
Well, I guess it's good I started my standards low in the beginning.
No, this one, this is number 4 is definitely Essentia. And the reason I know is because it feels smooth
He just said 4 is Fiji.
on the lips He's wrong though. It feels smooth on the lips.
Who said that about water?
It feels different. Essentia feels different than all the rest.
4 was Fiji.
Yeah, that's what he says, but I think you mixed them around
I didn't mix my. I
so
had
that
it written on.
just to try to annoy me.
I did think about salting your water in 1 cup just to get a good reaction. I like the Essentia actually.
Uh-huh. Except it's Fiji. Or also known as Fuji. I can guess crappy water though, I guess.
I still wish we could have thrown tap water in the mix, but we have no water.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.